Good evening, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Rusty Mehlberg here inside the Fox 21 Weather Center, where, yes, it is finally going to be happening, folks. Our first widespread winter storm of this young winter season in the Northland. So, yes, it is a little extra hyping up here, but it's been a while since most of us have had to deal with the slick, snow covered roadways and driving through blowing and drifting snow and, of course, the freezing temperatures and whatnot. So, we're going to give you a little extra attention here, and especially given that we do have the Thanksgiving holiday weekend just a few days away. So, how much is this storm going to impact what you will be dealing with if you're going to be heading out on the roadways in the next few days? So, let's talk about this storm, which is going to be impacting the Northland over the next 48 hours or so. What will begin as a mix of rain and snow Tuesday morning will eventually become all snow by Tuesday evening. And the worst of the conditions are forecasted to come through Tuesday evening and overnight. Heaviest snowfall rates expected. Would not be surprised if there are some locations that get snowfall rates of 1, maybe even 2 inches per hour. Well, as the snow moves on out Wednesday, the lake effect snow bands along the South Shore will persist as we make our way across the next couple of days here. So, again, this is as of Monday evening. Winter storm warning for the vast majority of the Northland. Winter weather advisory in effect for Couchiching, Burnett, Washburn, and Sawyer counties. And you notice that Gogebic and Octonagon counties still under a winter storm watch as of Monday evening. Wouldn't be surprised if that gets upgraded to a warning as of Tuesday morning sometime. This is the setup that we see as of Monday evening. We do have one low pressure system to our south and one low pressure system to our west. This is the one that's going to be riding the jet stream and basically following that stationary front a little bit south into parts of South Dakota and Nebraska, and then eventually working its way south of the Northland, at least the center of it. But you see plenty of moisture to the north, and it is going to tap into some of this moisture from this secondary system that is staying well to our south. So we got a lot of precipitation making its way into the region here. So enjoy the clear skies tonight. Things get interesting as we go through your Tuesday and Wednesday. So clouds increase Monday night. By the time you get going to work or school on your Tuesday, we're going to see those showers start to spread across the region. And yes, it is going to be a mix of rain and snow. The rain staying mainly along and south of Highway 2, which means northwest Wisconsin, the Upper Peninsula, the I-35 corridor. Going to be more of a wet start to the day with wet roadways. The Minnesota side, Iron Range, Rainy River Basin, some light snow showers beginning to fall. But as we go through your Tuesday, temperatures are going to be cooling on down, and that is going to allow the showers to change over from that rain-snow mix to all snow. By Tuesday evening, especially once we get past sunset, that is when the low pressure center is going to be at its closest, and this is going to be a strengthening low. So that means a little extra oomph of energy in the atmosphere that is going to make things a little bit more intense when it comes to the precipitation. Everything should be changing over to all snow for Tuesday evening and overnight. And again, those snowfall rates are going to be heavy at times. 1 to 2 inches. Apologize for the terrible 2 there, but it is going to be some pretty heavy snowfall, and that will persist as we go through the overnight. So road crews are going to be pretty busy trying to get things set for that Wednesday commute, especially if you got the long travel plans for Thanksgiving. But the good news is, as we go through your Wednesday, snow showers will be moving out of the region from west to east. So by Wednesday afternoon, the main focus is going to be east of Highway 53, impacting mainly the South Shore and the Upper Peninsula, as we are going to continue to see those winds coming off of Lake Superior and leading to those lake band, lake enhancement, lake effect bands, and that will continue as we go into Thursday morning, but eventually everything will settle on down. So, total snowfall from this event, it's going to be impressive for a first event of the season here. Because of the persistence of the lake effect and the lake enhancement, it is going to be the South Shore and the Upper Peninsula that sees the most snow. Some locations in Gogebic and Octonagon County, 18 inches would be the bare minimum. There could be some spots that see 2 feet. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a report of 3 feet in a hilly spot here or there. Bayville Peninsula region, looking to be impressive too with that lake enhancement and lake effect. Probably some parts of the Bayfield Peninsula and those upper terrain areas, possibly seeing 12 to 18 inches. And then you get the 6 to 12 inches into parts of the Arrowhead and the Twin Ports and a few portions in around the Iron Range region, maybe also about 6 to 12 inches for like Solon Springs, Minot, Drummond, Hayward area, and the southern portions of Ashland and Iron County. And then lesser amounts the farther north and west you go. In fact, International Falls, not a very impressive event with this. An inch would be satisfactory at this point. Anything more than that, pretty good chances here. Did want to break down a little bit more as to what we mean by these snowfall totals, especially given that we do have a lot of moisture coming in with this system. So Tuesday's snow is going to be that heavy, wet snow. A lot of moisture in the air, and those temperatures hovering around the freezing points will allow those snowflakes to contain a lot of moisture. So not the greatest snow to water ratio. So it's going to be heavy. It's going to be hard to move. But by Wednesday, as we start to get those temperatures cooler and we start to get on the backside of the storm system here, going to be looking to be more fluffier snow, which means a little bit more upward in the totals there, but also a little bit easier to move. Now, there are a couple caveats that I do want to bring up here for the Twin Ports and the North Shore, especially locations right next to Lake Superior. So the city of Superior, downtown Duluth, and those communities along Highway 61, along the North Shore, Two Harbors, Silver Bay, Grand Marais. We are still dealing with a pretty warm Lake Superior. So as much as I talk about lake enhancement and lake effect, if you're right up next to those areas, you're probably going to be seeing the raindrops sticking around a little bit longer than, say, you go up the hill to, say, Duluth International Airport or Cloquet or Isabella. They're going to see the transition to all snow sooner on Tuesday than you are, and that is going to lead to some slightly lower snowfall totals, but it's not going to be anything too drastic. Maybe 6 to 9 inches in the heart of the Twin Ports or along the shoreline of Lake County, while you get up the hill, could be closer to 12 inches. And of course, the South Shore, while everyone else is finishing up their snow Wednesday morning, early afternoon, the lake effect, the lake enhancements are going to keep those snow bands going, which are going to lead to those very high totals. So just to bring it in just a little bit more detail into that marine layer impact, especially for Superior, downtown Duluth, Two Harbors, Silver Bay, most of the air above us by Tuesday afternoon is going to be below 32 degrees. The marine layer is still above freezing. So as everything starts off as snow above us, there should be enough of a gap in between where the snowflakes start to leave the clouds and the surface below for some of that precipitation to remain a rain-snow mix or even just all rain later on Tuesday afternoon, while other locations farther inland, it's going to be more of a snow event by, say, early to mid Tuesday afternoon. Again, another big factor with the storm system is going to be the winds. They're going to start to pick up as we go through your Tuesday here. So already by Tuesday morning, you're going to start to see some of those gusts coming out of the east and northeast over 20 miles per hour. By the afternoon, they're really going to be picking up, especially for the Twin Ports, the South Shore, some of those gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour, and they're going to stay that way as we go through your overnight and into your Wednesday morning. As that low pressure center moves from west to east, winds are going to be shifting over from the northeast to the north, and eventually, by Wednesday afternoon, some of the strongest wind gusts for everybody. Everybody's going to be seeing those winds over 30 miles per hour. So whatever snow is falling, being a little more lighter, a little more fluffier, going to lead to some blowing and drifting on the roadways. We'll eventually calm things down as we get into your Thursday, but still pretty breezy for your Thanksgiving, but some relief in the strength of the winds as we go into the first day of the holiday weekend. As for those temperatures tonight, no big change. 30, some low 40s for your lows as we really pump in the moisture. And then as we go through your Tuesday, we're going to be watching those thermometers slowly dip down. By the evening, most of us should be at or below the freezing point. And we're going to be staying below freezing going through the holiday weekend here. Wednesday afternoon, you see those highs still hanging around the upper 20s, maybe a low 30 here or there. But the overall trend for the rest of the holiday weekend, below average temperatures, which means below freezing. A lot of 20s for highs, and look at those lows, teens and single digits. Nothing that's record-breaking, but definitely a bit out of the ordinary. Meanwhile, just a little bit of a heads up for the second half of this holiday weekend. Nice start to Friday, but there is going to be another storm system that is going to be passing to our south. A low pressure system, again, going to dive down enough south and then eventually make its way back up to the east northeast. Timing's a little bit off here. Some of the long range model runs are bringing in that snow chance better Saturday than Sunday. Our main house one trying to bring it in for a Sunday afternoon disturbance. So, yes, could get very interesting for people heading back from a long holiday weekend. But again, we do want to point out that we do have that winter storm warning in effect for most of the Northland, winter weather advisories for Koochiching, Burnett, Washburn, and Sawyer counties. Again, likely winter storm warning for Gogebic and Octanogan County as we go through Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So again, not trying to scare you, not trying to hype up a typical early season snowstorm, but this is the first one, and we've got a holiday travel plan for many of you out there. So do your part. Plan ahead, be safe on the roads, and don't hurt yourself cleaning up some snow over the next couple of days here. So we'll keep you posted here. Myself, fellow meteorologist James McAllister. Keep yourself up to date, and we'll get through this, folks. So till later, everyone.